Welcome to ITL Panels.
It's all for you. It's all about you. Only you. Use the groove. Use the music. Make you move. It's all for you. It's all about you. ITL Panels, the slicing and dicing of the most controversial topics in music ministry.
We have two very powerful women of God here. There'll be three shortly. We have my mom. Yes, my mom. Yes, my mom. Former headmistress of Wesley Girls. During that period, I saw a lot of things. So, crusades for the girls and how many people give their lives to Christ, and married to my dad, who was into ministry for several years, brought us up in music. We also have Pastor Helen Yawson. If you're in music in Ghana, you don't know her. You're probably not in music properly. Yes, and she's a pastor, married to a pastor, and still pursuing her ministry in music. She has kids, so the experience of how that all works in marriage, the balance and everything, is what we are hoping to learn. And for men as well, for us to experience and appreciate what that looks like from their perspective, and obviously how we can better support. What does ministry mean for you? Maybe I'll start with Pastor Helen.
Ministry is service, and for me, and I always tell myself that whatever I do, ministry it's a privilege to serve God. I should never think that actually, well, you deserve to. Well, they need you. No, for me, it's a privilege and an honor to serve God. So for me, it's service and it's giving, and not just giving anything, but giving my best. Not just thinking that, okay, they want me to do this, so let's just do it haphazardly. No, I think whatever you do, you give the king the best. The king deserves the best. So,
Mommy, what do you think? You don't mind me calling you Mommy on this, right? It's weird calling you Mrs. Djokoto.
Yes, feel free because
Yeah. What do you think?
I think ministry for a Christian is anything we commit ourselves to do for God. But when it's structured, then it becomes like an official ministry. But in our context of music ministry, like she is full-time minister of the Lord, but then we are looking at sometimes a specific area where you can serve God, and it is really, really structured and organized. Otherwise, for me, ministry is everything. Right. So why I said ministry would be knowing what God has done with my kids. I would really, really have put much more into it and structured it, structured it to make it official and formal. Formal, I did, because as a teacher, they had times to sleep, times to do this and that. Yeah. But and we had time for devotion, and but now that I'm seeing what they're able to do, I'm thinking if I had done more and taken my children as my first in congregation, I would have put in more. And that's what I would have called ministry, starting from home. Okay.
No, but I think, actually, no, I mean, obviously, structured ministry, as you said, is what I do, the music. Yes. But actually, for me, everything is ministry. You are serving. You're serving your children. You're serving your husband. Exactly. You're serving people around you. Even with the gift that you have, you're serving people. And maybe there's even people that you never even meet, but you're serving them with the gift that God has given you. So which means that you have to be intentional in the way that you relate everywhere you go. It might not necessarily be that it's got a title. but what you're doing it's been written down in heaven. She's doing this. It's been registered. It's work that you're doing for God.
Right.
Do you think being a woman was in any way disadvantageous to fulfilling or pursuing your call in ministry? Very interesting question.
Yes.
Yeah. Challenging, isn't it?
Well, I mean, challenging I suppose for me, in the sense that, obviously, for most of ministry, I've been married. So obviously, you're looking after a family, you're looking after children, and you feel that sometimes, well, you have to sacrifice a bit of what you're doing to make sure that, okay, family runs the way that it's supposed to run, and children are managed and taken care of. So in that sense, I mean, though I would say it's a good challenge, in that obviously, you see the fruits now, and I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah.
That you spent the time with the children, and sometimes turned down things and didn't go for stuff, even though you're sitting there thinking, oh, I wish I could be there. Oh, I wish I could go for that. And everybody's asking you, oh, can't you come for the program? And you want to tell them, I can't come for every program because my family needs some attention. So I think, whereby I think a man would have gotten up and gone because he's got a wife. Woman, it's not. It's slightly different. Even though, I mean, I would say that with my husband, there are times where I have to go and he would look after the children. But there are times where I just actually turn things down. I need to do ministry, but sometimes I just have to. There are times where you look through invites and you just think, all of them, no. Because there's speech and prize giving day. There's visiting day. There's just things that you need to do. I need to be at home. They're not well. I need to look after them. You just have to be at home. So you just.
So it's slightly more demanding, time-wise.
Yes, it is.
Being a woman in ministry.
And you have to sacrifice the places that you would want to be.
A lot of comforts. I think she's on point. My case was a different scenario because the two of us were moving. Okay, so.
What do you mean by moving?
Going to the program.
Okay.
Yes, I was supporting him. I wasn't the main artist or anything. I was just supporting him because I would help with stage movement, or if it was drama, I have to direct and all. And then, so we started having them. So what we do, right? And that's where I think sharing each other's passion and faith is very, very important, because I wanted to be there. He wanted me to be there, you see. He wanted me to be part of it. And it makes a whole difference to how we were able to manage 4 children. And in fact, at the point, they were all toddlers. That was where I saw that grace really abounded, because, I wanted to be there. He wanted me to do it because I was supporting him.
Yes.
Right. Because what really brought together was ministry. Yes. So I think I have one of the best husbands anybody could have. He thought that I should continue what he knew me to be before he married me. Yes. So he gave me all the support, and therefore he shared with the chores and the upbringing of the children, So, I remember the last one, Jervis, barely 3 weeks, old baby. I looked for cotton wool and put in his ears, so we don't damage them. And he was supportive that you have to be there. You have rehearsed, since and the program is coming off.
You can't miss it.
That you can't miss it, you see. So I think I have a very different scenario here, where the man himself was so supportive of what I was able to do, and would see me through, help out, So when we, at any given program, I'll take my mats and cradle and things behind stage. They're all toddlers, so one will be in the cradle, then the rest will be in the mat behind stage, and I'm directing on stage. And he was so supportive, and I enjoyed what he was doing. But the problem now is, if I went into a marriage where the man thought that, it's okay, you were doing this, but it's okay, sit home and look after children, I don't know what would have become of the marriage, because he knew I was very passionate about it. So I'll quickly add that it's important who you marry, so that you can juggle your ministry and your home which also is very, very important.
Yes.
And I agree with Pastor Rev. That's your first priority.
It is.
That's your first priority. And it takes a very, very supportive husband to want you to do what he thinks God has called you to. It takes an exceptional man. Because I know it doesn't come naturally. I know many people who had to stop their ministries because the man said, no. In fact, one said, who will look after me? If you go, who will look after me? If you went into that program, who will look after me? And I felt, oh, this is not very, very manly.
Yes.
Yes. Who will look after me? I mean, you have to say, and as I say, what's the end? The who will look after me came so many times
that you just give up.
She gave up. She gave up because really she also thought the home was there. Yeah. And so that was the end of her ministry. But I think maybe if she had a more supportive husband, she would have gone far. Yes, so that's what we face. That's the special thing women face in ministry, trying to juggle the two and not having a man who understands that the woman also can be in ministry. Very few men believe that.
I was going to say that, first of all, I must say that my husband is my #1 fan. Yes. I mean, there are days whereby it's like, go. Yeah. Go and get it done. Sit down. I have stories of, I hear stories of the girls say, oh, and daddy was doing it like this, and we told him that's not how mommy does it. But it was great that he could actually just be at home with them, and it was okay for me to go and do what I do. So he's my #1 fan, and if I totally agree with you that if I didn't have that kind of husband, I don't think I'll be able to do what I do. And I think more than what I turn down, I think I take a lot more than what I turn down.
Right.
So, because of his attitude towards ministry, and he knows that this is what I enjoy. He always tells me that, okay, whenever I notice that when you are talking about music, there's something about your face, you are glowing. So I don't want to stop that. I don't want to stop that. So he's always supportive. So that helps a lot. When you've got somebody who actually understands what you're doing and is supportive, and then you talk. I think it's important that you're always discussing, you're talking about it. Okay, this is what's happening. Not just, oh, well, okay, I'm going. Going where? What happened? No, you talk about it. Because my husband is a pastor. So obviously there's a whole church. Yes. I think sometimes people forget that, okay, they say, so I remember somebody saying to me, oh, I forgot that you're pastoring a church and you're doing music ministry. I said, yeah, because so I've got to combine responsibilities of
the church as well.
Church, and then do music as well out of church. So, so obviously you're supporting that work. So that's also the challenge, because you as the wife, I'm supporting that side of the work as well. I'm supporting that side of ministry apart from what I have to do. So, and there were times, and I still do it, whereby I would say church comes first, and I would turn down invites because church is having an event. I cannot be having an event and church is having an event. No, so I'll put mine on. It was
very interesting because some of my team members, like Barbara, have said they are a bit skeptical. They are afraid because they feel they are called into ministry, but they are wondering how to prioritize. Because if you marry a pastor who believes, for example, you shall, oh ye my wife, you shall sing only thee on mine stage and nowhere else, oh ye. Well, but I get what I mean. Yes. How do you balance pursuing your call and playing your wife as supporting your husband's ministry?
What did you talk about during courtship?
That's what I was going to say.
What did you talk about? You know.
So well, Instagram.
Exactly. No, I mean, she should have had the signs clearly written on the wall that he was not going to allow you. And is that what you want?
Before that question of how do you choose, what I want to ask is, now, when you have chosen, how do you balance it? Because I'm sure there'll be times when, I don't know, I'm guessing there'll be times where you have to think through and say, should I cut this my program and support? How does that?
That's his. I think I agree with you. Yes, there are times that you have to prioritize and know which one is more demanding at that material moment than the other. Yeah. So it takes a lot of balancing and takes prayer.
For example, obviously apart from doing ministry out of church, obviously I head the music in church. Women's ministry, I head that as well. So all the music and creative ministries within church,
Wow.
dance and everything. I had that, and then obviously the women's ministry. But I think that when it comes to like my peculiar situation, that there are seasons, and you have to understand seasons, because there are seasons whereby you have to stay, and it's because you are building. There's a particular aspect, part of time of the work whereby the work is being built. It's not the time for me to run out and try and do something. At that point, everybody hands to the plow. Let's get this work up. Let's get it to a particular point whereby if I went out, it's not going to be noticeable.
This is not your work. This is supporting.
Yes, my husband.
Yes.
So for me, I feel that there are seasons, and I think as a wife, you have to understand that too. That there are times whereby you have to give up yours. It's not going to be forever, and I think that's the understanding that we had when we were courting. We knew that already. I mean, though my husband wasn't a pastor, I didn't marry a pastor. See, that's the thing. So I did not. See, I didn't marry. So he wasn't like, oh, pastor of this church. No. It wasn't.
But did you know that he wanted to be a pastor?
He did not want to be a pastor.
Interesting.
So that's the whole thing. He didn't want to be a pastor. So it wasn't in my head like, okay, well, so obviously our discussions were he's going to be a business person. Rather, he's going to be a business person and support me.
Wow.
That was going to make money and support what I'm doing. That was kind of what he was. That was so when the call came. But obviously, when the call came, we were all in agreement, and we knew that it was what we were supposed to be doing. So, I think when it comes to that, there are seasons when it did happen. But if you're not communicating, when these things happen, somebody's going to feel, oh, I've been left behind, or I've been taken advantage of, or when we were talking, we didn't talk about this. But you're talking to each other and you're talking to God. If God is not in the picture, you're talking to each other and talking to God.
Wow.
Once you're talking to each other, even if you think the person said something like, we didn't talk about this, but then God spoke to you. So when God has spoken to you, it's like,
you can hear from God.
Yes. So you have to be able to hear. So once you can hear from God, you know that, okay, yes, he said it. Okay, I wasn't thinking of that, but actually God spoke to me. There was a sensing in my spirit about what he said. So I'm in. So let's flow with it. So it's important to know that there are seasons, and there are times whereby for me, at music ministry, times that I decided Sunday I will not accept any invite on a Sunday. I will not. So, but now I can.
The children are grown.
Children are going to university, boarding school, so I can. But there was a season where I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And that was deliberate, because also family, but also the church, the building of the work was important. So I didn't think I should be leaving church every second for every invite. No.
Wow. Wow. So talking about seasons, Mommy, for us as a family, you had to go to Cape Coast to be headmistress for a while. How was that with Daddy? I've never really asked before, because it's like you went to pursue something, and we all see how amazing that was, the crusades, and how many girls have given their lives to Christ, how many people are changing the world just because they came to Wesley Girls, but you reoriented them to Christ. How did that transition work? In terms of what she mentioned, seasons. How did, as a family, you and Daddy, what?
Once again, yes, it had to be Daddy, because he was a man who would always even look for opportunities for the wife to progress. I mean, he's amazing. So when the offer came, he was the one who actually said, you must take this offer, And when I was approached, I told the headmistress who was sent by the board to tell me to move to Cape Coast that I need to discuss this with my husband. And she remembers it till today, that when I came to your school, I was then teaching at a farm, and the offer came to be assistant headmistress. She says, I remember what you told me. I didn't remember, but she says, okay, I've heard, but I will discuss this with my husband, yes. I said it knowing that if he thought it was good, he would let me go. It wasn't a problem saying that to her at all. And I meant it. I wasn't just saying it to ward her off or something. And I knew if I explained to her, he wants you to progress, even to his own detriment sometimes. So it was a very, very nice agreement that I would come over every weekend, and he would also come if he wanted to. Winneba, we were at Winneba, so Winneba and Wesley Girls was not very far away.
Well, all right.
Yes. Anna, yes. So he would either come or I would
I
go.
remember the trips.
Several trips. They would, yes, bundle the children and bring them. Yeah, they were schooling in Winneba, yes, initially, but after a while they came to Cape Coast, yes. And their schooling too was something that made it easier for him. But knowing him, he will never say no if it's going to enhance my ministry or make me effective somewhere. He would never say no.
That's a very strong statement, Mami.
Yes.
So the topic I was going to ask, or the question leading to that, is how did you find Pastor Andy? What did you look out for? Because you are describing people who sound like they're biblical. I mean, I know it's true because it's my dad, so I can attest to that. And that's probably part of my biggest problem, because I'm always judging myself as a son, as a firstborn son, seeing how incredible he is, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish I didn't know it, but I know it, and I'm happy I know it. But it's like it's such a high standard to get to. So how do you find such men? Because in your case, he wasn't a pastor.
No.
So like, what did you look out for?
Well, I suppose you want a man who fears God, not a man. I'm not looking for a man who's going to church.
What's the difference?
He's just going there. It's the church. He's going to church for church.
He's going 5 times a week.
He has no relationship.
Even though it's 5 times a week.
With God.
No, so you understand, there are people that they're just going to church. It's just like a look or a fad. They go to church. Church is the place to be, so they go. But they have no relationship with God. I wanted a man who has a relationship with God, who is interested in serving in the house of God and will serve and will sacrifice. I wanted a man who will sacrifice. And I could see him as a young man, because we met when we were like 19 in church. And I joined Pastor Matthew's my pastor's ministry in I was 9 at Shimolo. I joined the ministry when I was 19. He came in, I think, a year later. So you see him giving more than he has, sacrificing. So all the attitudes, the character tells you about the person, even without them saying anything, that this is a person who's willing to give all of this for God. This is a person who's willing to, he's going to miss a class and run to church and make sure that the equipment is set up. You just know that there's a heart of sacrifice, and it's about God. It's not about being seen, because there was nobody to see. The church was so small. So it was a tiny church. So, but even with a small 50 people, you're busy sacrificing, you're giving everything, you're making it work, making sure everything works. So I saw a man who feared God, a man who wanted to serve God. So for me, that was important. He feared God and wanted to serve God. I wanted to live for God. I was interested in people being on the right path. He was always an encourager, making sure that you were on the right path. We discussed messages after the service, and trying to get. I mean, I was trying to go a different way, but maybe that's another. But he was always trying to encourage me, be on the right path, and so for me, I didn't think I was going to marry him. I wasn't thinking, I'm going to marry him. No. I just thought, he's a great friend, and we became very good friends. We encouraged each other, So that's what I saw. I saw a man who was committed to God, and that's what I needed. Not a superficial Christian who is doing things because people are watching. But he was doing things when nobody was watching. He was coming when there was nobody, when there were 30 people, and when there were 100, 200,000, the commitment remained the same. So for me, that says a lot. When the commitment remains the same and the sacrifice even increases.
Wow, Mommy, what did you see in Daddy to say yes?
I told you I didn't say yes.
You didn't say yes. That's true. You didn't say yes. You said no, actually, right?
I said no.
Serving you, O my King, my best is all I want to bring. Embracing the grace and taking my special place as a chosen race, a royal princess. I choose to look to you for ability. Thank you, Lord, for peace in the midst of my vulnerability. Your endless grace is my hope as I take one step after the other on this tightrope. Juggling, navigating, balancing. Family, friends, commitments, timetables, projects, meetings, prayer time, quiet time, rehearsal time, career, love life. I just want to stay still. I just want to lay at your feet. I just want to open my box of oil. I just want to pour it at your feet. I just want to lavish my worship on you, oh my King. I just want to give you my best.
You deserve my best and more, right from within my heart, with my strength.
All that you have given to me,
I'm not holding nothing back.
I give to you. That's why I say, working for God is my deepest desire, to be seen at your feet and my best, what I want. Lord, I give you my all. I'm not settling for less. Say working for God. Working for God is my deepest desire. To be seen at your feet. And my best, what I want. Oh Lord, I give you my all. Settling for less. No. For less. Lord, I give you my all. I'm never settling for less. Lord, I give you my all. My all. I give it all to you, Jesus.
Your love is amazing. Your love is complete. Father, you deserve all of my praise. Next on ITL.
I mean, there were days I would weep. I remember 2 weeks after the day I was with my parents. I wept.
What does that mean? Because the husband is saying that Wednesday evening thing we have been going from henceforth, stop it.
It's your family is first, though. Sure. You don't tell the guy,
I'll
serve God. I'm going to serve God. You have disobeyed and you are not.
So Pastor Helen, you are saying that don't go to church, obey him and stay in the house.
Yes.
I go to bed tired. There are stretches of days I don't remember reading the Bible.
When a marriage is not working, a Christian marriage, one person is not being a Christian, period.
You truly know that you are a Christian when you get married.
Wow.
When you get married, then
you know.
Come and tell me whether you're a Christian or not.
And be encouraged. Honestly, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes.
And sometimes God will tell you, Helen, what you want to say, cannot say it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, let me just go on a holiday. 2 minutes. Let me say what I want to say.
My sister came and said, hey, you should not be allowing these women to be sitting at the front. You know, I said, you know what? I'll be sitting at the back, but I'm in the front.
Exactly. You need men who will understand, men who will take up responsibility. Right. You're not watching and telling her, you're not telling her, where's my food?
When you raised your voice and shouted, was that Christian?
If I pick your phone and I see an unhealthy conversation, maybe it was not like you were not going that way, but I think it's going.
Yeah. That person,
I will tell you.
you.